Hi guys, welcome back. It's been a long time since I made a video, so I thought I'd make my best video for you all. This is a deck that's been a labor of love for me. I basically bought the Kaalia of the Vast Heavenly Inferno boxed commander deck back in 2011 when it first came out, and have tuned this deck ever since, kept adding cards to it, getting better versions of the cards, and basically at this point it's fully pimped out, everything in it the way I want it to be. Of course, things in the future will always be added, but this is something where I don't do alters, I don't do foreign language cards, but I'm always looking to get the coolest, most pimped version of English language cards, whether it's full art, foil, borderless, expedition, all of that type of stuff. So hope you enjoy this. Again, obviously you can make this deck a lot more budget friendly. This is designed to be a fun deck where I can really show off all my best, nicest cards, and also just it is pretty spiky. It's not a C EDH deck, but it's a pretty high power level, so there's some cards, if you're with a friendly play group, you're definitely not going to want to play. But yeah, let's check it out. So first off is our commander, Kaalia of the Vast. This one is from the Commander Arsenal set. Also, I like to do like a double sleeve here and have the double Masters foil variant on the back there, so you can play with whichever art you like. So that's Kaalia the Commander. You all know what she does at this point. Then to start off, we're going to start off with our mana base. So we do run 37 lands, which is quite a lot for a 4 mana cost commander, but I want to get Kaalia down as soon as possible every turn, which means every game, which means having her correct colors. And so we're really focused on primarily mana producing lands to do that. So the first bit we have here is our fetches. We do have all 9 fetches that we can play, everything except for the green-blue land. So we've got Arid Mesa, Bloodstained Mire, Flooded Strand, Marsh Flats, Polluted Delta, Scalding Tarn, Verdant Catacombs, Windswept Heath, Wooded Foothills. So it's, again, everything except Misty Rainforest. Then we do play our dual lands. I have the ones from Revised. We've got Badlands, Plateau, and Scrubland. Do also play our shocks. Again, these are all fetchable. So we've got the Blood Crypt, Godless Shrine, and Sacred Foundry. Then we get into, I do play the multiplayer untapped lands. Again, if you're playing head-to-head or not playing with a 3-player or more, you don't want to run these, of course, but if you're playing multiplayer, these are excellent includes: Luxury Suite, Spectator Seating, Vault of Champions. Then I also like in Kaalia especially, you can exchange these guys in for a card later on, the Horizon Canopy lands, and also, you have to pay a life to get the colored mana, but again, Kaalia doesn't care much about that, being that she's an aggressive deck. So kind of the best of both. Early on, you can get the mana you need. Later on, you can cash it in for a card. So we run Silent Clearing and Sunbaked Canyon. They don't make the third one yet in that cycle. Then getting into our 5-color lands, we've got Command Tower, Cavern of Souls. This one's great to make sure Kaalia can't be countered by those blue decks, and get whatever color of mana you need to fill out her casting cost. City of Brass, Mana Confluence, Reflecting Pool. Then another thing with this deck, very critical to give Kaalia haste. So we have Hall of the Bandit Lord. Ancient Tomb I'm always just a big fan of to get that extra mana. A lot of times with Kaalia you're wanting to pay for Lightning Greaves or get a Soul Ring down or some other things just to get you more colorless mana. So even though you need the heavy color requirements, I do still like the Ancient Tomb. Then I'm also a big fan of the land destruction, so we run Strip Mine and Wasteland. When it comes to land destruction, you'll see we run some Armageddon effects in the deck, and so Flagstones is nice because It's one-sided. You get your land back when you have that. Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. So that is just black mana fixing in here. Then we do run the artifact lands, and why we run these is for our Mox Opal. Again, we're completely all in on getting Kaalia down as fast as possible, and that means being able to run every Mox we can. And the Opal, you want to have a high artifact count for. I believe I'm running 20 artifacts in this deck that cost 2 CMC or less, and this helps with that count. So we do run all 3 of them: Ancient Den, Vault of Whispers, and Great Furnace. Again, that's a play choice, but we really like the Opal, and that's what those are there for. Then we run our basics: a Plains, a Swamp, and a Mountain. So that finishes out our mana base. Next, on to our creatures. So the first group of creatures we have here is creatures that are small utility creatures, not angels, demons, dragons. So we've got the Mother of Runes, great for protecting Kaalia. Grand Abolisher, just fantastic for locking your opponents out during your turn. Dockside Extortionist, just a great mana ramp, great in multiplayer. And Opposition Agent, just keep your opponents tutoring under control so they can't just tutor for the answers they need. Then now we're on to the Angels, who are all primarily in white. We've got Linvala, Keeper of Silence, Angel of Serenity, Sephara, Sky's Blade. Again, this one gives your creatures with flying indestructible. She's probably not as recognizable of a creature, but very good in Kaalia. Avacyn, Angel of Hope. Now I'm on to the demons, which are mostly in black. We've got Doom Whisperer, can pay 2 life to repeatedly surveil. Burning Rune Demon is just a bad rune-scarred demon, but still a good card. Obnalixis, the Unshackled, again making that opponent pay for tutoring. Lord of the Void, just a fun card. And Rune-scarred Demon. Got Archfiend of Despair. This one obviously is worded awkwardly, but each opponent loses life equal to the damage that you dealt to the player of your choice this turn. So, or no, excuse me, it's each opponent basically doubles the life loss that you cause to each opponent. Next we have Razakath, just a great card because he can sack a creature to tutor. And Vilus, Broker of Blood, he can pay life to essentially draw cards. You also get the -1 effect. Then we're on to our dragons, who are mostly red. We've got Terror of the Peaks, Thundermaw Hellkite. I just like him because he costs 5 and is hasty. Sometimes you want someone that you can hardcast that you don't have to use Kaalia's ability for. Hellkite Tyrant, steals artifacts. And Balefire Dragon just clears your opponent's board. Now we're on to our multicolored cards, who are some of each class. We've got Demon, Master of Cruelties. This guy, the trick with him, if you don't already know it, is you can attack with Kaalia and with Master of Cruelties put into play with Kaalia. He basically gets the trigger that says if he isn't blocked, your opponent's life total becomes 1. So he doesn't deal damage that combat, but Kaalia still does. So if you go against an unblocked player, Kaalia with Master of Cruelties will put them out of the game. Angel of Despair, just classic, destroy a permanent. Aurelia, again, she you don't get her tack trigger the turn she comes into play, but it's still a great card to have around for the next time. And Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight, just absolute beast. And Steel Hellkite, just some utility removal in colors that are lacking sometimes ability to control certain card types. So next we have our mana ramp, and so this deck is heavy into the ramp, as well as heavy into the Kaladesh Inventions. So first off here you see the Mana Crypt, and then we have Mox Diamond, Chrome Mox, Mox Opal, which I discussed earlier. Then we run the Jeweled Lotus, That, with Kaalia, it's not perfect because it can only pay for the colorless and one of the colors that you need, but still very well worth it. And even we run Lotus Petal just to get out one turn sooner. Of course, you run the Soul Ring. Now we're into our signets. We run them all. Arcane Signet, Boros Signet, Orzhov Signet, Rakdos Signet. We also run all 3 talismans: Talisman of Conviction, Talisman of Hierarchy, Talisman of Indulgence. And then very key card in the deck for Kaalia, because you want to drop Kaalia down and you want her to have haste. We're running Lightning Greaves. We're also running Swiftfoot Boots. And just for utility and top of the library control with all those fetches, Sensei's Divining Top. And finally, with our Strip Mine and Wasteland, we're running Crucible of Worlds. Like I said, giving Kaalia haste is key. We got those Lightning Greaves artifacts, but also we got some enchantments that do the same thing. So we're into the enchantments now. We've got Mass Hysteria and Dragon Tempest to give Kaalia haste. Necropotence, just a solid card draw. Phyrexian Arena, a more fair version of card draw. Then we're into our tutors. Big on tutoring in this deck, making sure you set up your Kaalia cast with haste. Usually you want to be trying to get Kaalia with haste on turn 3 every game, and so these tutors help you do that. We've got Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, Imperial Seal, Enlightened Tutor for artifacts or enchantments, and even Steel Shaper's Gift to get those Greaves. Next we have some single target removal in Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares, and Anguished Unmaking. Some protection with Teferi's Protection and Deflecting Swat. Then these are our Armageddon effects. We do run Armageddon and Ravages of War. These are ones that are very mean, and make sure you're in a competitive play group if you're going to run that kind of action. And then Toxic Deluge, just for our only board wipe. We don't usually want to wipe the board, but if we have to, this is the best one. And Reanimate, just a 1-mana spell, get a creature back. Super solid in this deck. And last but not least, Wheel of Fortune. Just these colors have a hard time drawing cards sometimes, and so this is nice. Reload your hand, get more Angels, Demons, and Dragons, and reload yourself to go again. So guys, thanks for watching. That's my Kaalia of the Vast Commander deck. Like I said, it's a labor of love for me. I'm always enjoy adding new cards to this deck when they come out, testing them out, and seeing what fits well. But I'm really happy with the work I have into it. It's hard to believe that it's been 10 years I've been working on this deck. So just kind of goes to show you, if you stick with something and progressively add to it, you can end up with a nice deck. Now, like I said, some of these cards obviously are out of budget, especially how a lot of them have risen in price recently with some of the inventions and whatnot. Don't let that stop you. Just make your decks, make what you love, and stick with it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you watching. I'll be back for another video. Bye.